All right, everybody, we are here today with Wale, DC favorite. Thanks for taking some time to talk to us at Hill TV.
Thanks for having me.
So the first time I saw you was probably, I think you opened for Common at 930 Club at an event.
Wow.
A long time ago.
I don't even remember that.
But I feel like there was a period of time where you were definitely known among all the DC people, and then every act I went to go see in DC, you were opening or part of the show. I saw Jay-Z, I think Verizon, you were part of that show, that show at Common. What was it in your career that kind of got you from being kind of the local hometown guy to the bigger artist and more national profile that you got to have?
I mean, I just think it's just progressing. You know what I'm saying? In my effort, in my passion, and in my music, just progression. You know, naturally progressing, not rushing anything. Mm-hmm. You know, just following what was going on. I didn't really understand. The ignorance was bliss at that time because I was moving from label to label, and I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, man, I just know that I'm making this a show. I don't care I don't really know what's going on. I was young and just living it, and I was just doing what I had to do.
So tell me what you're doing this weekend. What's special about this weekend?
Well, it's just dope that we got the Grammy, a Grammy chapter, like having an event back here, and you got Jazz French and Drum, and it's a lot of dope artists that I really rock with that's out here. And with the whole Don't Mute DC movement that's going on, and just that essence at a Grammy event, it just shows the progress that Go-Go has made and that DC has made as an industry. Because don't get it twisted, I'll never be bigger than Go-Go in DC. Nobody will. I don't give a fuck.
Well, that's your roots, right? Like you came out of really the go-go scene, those early Dig Dug and all the early stuff, right?
But nobody can ever be bigger than Go-Go. Jay-Z could be born here, he wouldn't be bigger than Go-Go. It's just the soul of the city. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just happy that the Grammy committee and people of that ilk can see what's going on in this space.
You were here the other night, or recently at the Don't Mute DC event, the Mochella event, 14th and U.
I was at the first one. I was
in the first one.
I was doing something for Juliet Jones that day.
Okay.
She had they had an event at the museum in New York, so I missed it. But I was at the first one.
Why did you go to that event?
I mean, I would have went to all of them if I was in town, for sure. I would have went to all of them, but
what's important about that?
It's important. This is a genre that played a big part in me as a person, as an artist. I went from begging to get on the mic, and being 16 years old, begging to get on the mic with UCB, to touring the world with UCB. So, or I went from 18 years old at a 21 and over club with Listen Man, and to, playing with them and, getting a deal and walking back in the air with a record deal, like just feeling different, like, you know what I'm saying? In backyard, like, I'm a part of the go-go history.
So when I first moved to DC in the 90s, I felt like go-go was everywhere, right? And I went to school with a bunch of guys who also were from DC, and I was in Atlanta at Morehouse, and they brought go-go with them to Atlanta. And you would come out of metro stations, kids would be outside playing, and it was everywhere. And it does feel like just on the streets, it's kind of lifted a little bit. It's not as heavy as it was on the streets like it used to be, like downtown DC and those kinds of spots.
Nothing is as potent as it used to be because there's so many distractions. There's nothing as potent as it used to be. It's TV shows, the ratings ain't as much as they was, and I can go from anything from the goddamn Super Bowl to whatever because there's so many distractions.
But then when something happens in DC, like I was out the night Chuck Brown died, and we were all in front of the Howard Theater.
That's a real live moment where people want to be at that exact moment to say they were there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the fear of missing out. I forgot what it's called, but there's a phobia of missing out, fear of missing something.
FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and DC, like we was born into live music. We was born into live things in real time. We got to be there at the go-go. You wasn't at the 9/17, 99. You wasn't there. You wasn't at the 10/10 2001. TCB. Like you wasn't there. So we born into that. That's part of it. Like these are our black hood rock stars. Like we got Big G. We got Trey from UCB. we got Mike from UCB, we got Polo, rest of his soul, we got Benny, we got Chuck, we got White Boy, we got D Floyd, we got Scooby or Frank, you know what I'm saying? We got Miss Kim. We have our urban black rock stars. We fickled a little bit. We not really moved by certain people the same way the world is moved by certain rock bands. Yeah. We not, because we already had ours. Y'all just, the world didn't know about them, but we had ours.
So how do you feel about what happened over on 7th in Florida with the Metro PCS
you know how
store?
I feel. You already know how I feel.
Tell us how you feel.
But you know though, everybody know it's already done. We've already made our point because we on the third Don't Mute DC event, which was Mochella this time with Backyard. So we was on our third one. So everybody know, like, you know, the real gonna survive. You know what I'm saying? They ain't call it Chocolate City for nothing. You know, regardless of how the percentages is shifting, it's people that grew up, lost people, lost friends, lost parents, lost money, learned how to ride a bike, whatever. They learned how to do it out here. I learned how to ride a bike in DC. This is what I learned how to ride a bike. You know what I'm saying? So we still have, you know, and a lot of them Maryland kids is a running joke, whatever. Right. But a lot of the Maryland kids, we have family that grew up here, or that, you know, my father drove a cab in DC for a decade. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we all have an affinity to this place that's changing. But one thing that's changing for monetary reasons, but they can't change the culture.
I saw something like 20,000 African American families have been moved out of DC in the since like between 2010, 2015, something like that, in the last decade or so, as the city has changed, particularly in low-income neighborhoods. They call it the highest gentrified city in America. Is that going to change the nature of DC?
It's the nation's capital, right? Yeah.
So is it still Chocolate City?
It's the nation's capital, right? And it's where the president at all times is going to be, right? Of course, we're going to feel everything the worst. We're going to feel all the things that are happening in all these beautiful cities. We're going to feel them the worst. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be a fool. If I had Amazon money and all that, I'd be like, well, all right, I'm gonna buy 2 buildings and pay the rent for 10 years on 2, right. Like, cause money not a really thing to me. Like, but not.
Did you see the story about what happened at Howard? People were walking their dogs on Howard's yard.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the beginning of this.
Right, and they want
That was the beginning of this.
They want Howard to move. Howard's been there 150 years.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's kind of the problem. Like, you know, we don't live. This is not. It's kind of a reminder 400 years later that this ain't our country. You know what I'm saying? It ain't theirs, but they, you know what I'm saying? They made it in some kind of way. So, you know, they're gonna say, but it's a lot of entitlement going on, and there's not really nothing we can do. I wish I could just be like, yo, if I had $1 gazillion, I'll stop. You know what I'm saying? I'll stop it and just keep the, you know. But at the end of the day, they can't take the spirit of the city. They can't take the soul of the city, no matter what they do.
So we follow a lot of politics on our show. So the question for you now is, going into 2020, what would you say is going to move people to actually participate and get involved and actually do something?
You want to know the truth?
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all going to edit this out or what.
Tell the truth. We're online, so we can kind of say anything.
I honestly think that more people should watch John Oliver last week tonight. I think because he delivers politics in a way that is not so like it's defined, it's confident, it's direct, and it's not as heavy, and you don't almost forget that you're listening to politics. And he kind of, to me, he doesn't kind of sway in a way. I just feel like, because some people are just kind of just turned off by politics. I feel like if more people watch John Oliver, like, they'll be like, all right, cool, this is what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I don't know his political views. He just kind of makes a satire out of politics at all times. He gave Obama a little bit. We have an incompetent person running the country right now, so obviously they get a little bit more, you know, but he breaks it down in a way I can be like, all right, I can understand what's going on in the country right now.
So you're an artist. Do you think it's your responsibility at all to talk about what's happening with
I'm trying to learn more in real time. Like as we speak, I listen to his, I've been watching a lot of John Oliver shit, like leading up to where we at now, because I want to shake the bullshit, you know, shake the bullshit out and give me what's going on right now. And I feel like I can do that. Him and a lot of other, like, you know, comedic people that are into politics. You know, I want to learn about politics through comedians. Because if I learn through it the real way, I'm gonna just be paranoid, angry, and be everything that white people think that black men are.
So one more question. You saw this week the Red Sox went to the White House, but a lot of the black players, matter of fact, I don't think any black players from the Red Sox went to the White
how
House.
many black players play for the Red Sox?
I can't even tell
I want to know. I would like to know. I mean, I see what you're saying.
Black and Latino players, the only one went was one guy who was Cuban American. He went. None of the brown players went, but all the white players.
He gave McDonald's?
So here's a question, though.
He gave McDonald's?
I don't know if the president gave him McDonald's. I don't know if this time he served McDonald's. I think they were all outside. If you got invited to do something with Trump, would you go?
No.
Why not?
What?
Why not?
Come on, man. That man really sat there with a straight face and said shithole country. And he's talking about African countries. Both my parents was born in Nigeria, Ondo State, Ondo Town. You think I would really go?
That's real.
I can't, nothing. I can't even artists that I can't.
That's real.
And not even, it's non-debatable. And then we in the music industry, we're businessmen, we're walking businesses. Anybody in the music business can watch his timeline and like how he got to where he's at and know that it's just a finesse. There's no way. There's nothing.
Does it worry you about America, having Donald Trump in the White House?
I mean, it's almost over now, so we're gonna see how it ends.
All right, I think we're gonna leave it there. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.